Okay, you're at the Watchman Way. July 7th, 2020. The road trip continues back to Rohnert Park, California. So the plan is to stay here with my oldest daughter for 3 days. Friday, go to the family ranch on the coast, be there for a couple of days, and then it looks like I'm headed north next week. You know how this goes. It's kind of a day-by-day deal, depending on what God has in store for me. So anybody in Idaho or Montana, maybe even Oregon, although I don't really want to go to Oregon, that wants to host a Watchman live chat, get a hold of me. Plan is to stay. And before I forget, my second granddaughter is due in 2 weeks. So probably what I'm going to do is make a run north for a week or 10 days and then come back for the baby. So we'll see how that goes. POTUS withdraws the United States from the World Health Organization. Who didn't see this coming? We knew this was coming. And this is just the first one. We're going to see it from NATO, I think. We're going to see it from the UN. We're dumping all the globalist organizations. CDC, Child Protective Services, CIA, hopefully the FBI too, they need to go. The IRS, the Fed, anything with deep globalist tentacles, you can bet is going to get chopped. Easier to chop it than to fix it. And that's why the Department of Education, I think, needs to go. We talked about this. All on 100% online education. Remember, both parents aren't going to have to work when we get through this. And I'm talking about a very short time. Within 12 months, I think one parent's going to be able to stay home. And then, help the kids, obviously. How about this? We raise our own kids instead of letting the educational system raise them. Almost cost us our country. Because, they know it takes one generation. And they were oh so close to getting that one generation. Scary close. How close we came to losing our country. And the world. Because we go down, the world goes down. China's looking a lot stronger if America goes down and Russia's weakened. That's not going to play out now. Everything is going according to plan. I saw a couple of posts from members talking about the mask, and with a lot of these states going back and forth, mask, no mask, a virus that's less dangerous than the common flu. When are business owners just going to say, enough's enough? I'm not doing it. Screw you. Because here's the bottom line, guys. This is unconstitutional. I'll guarantee you right now, if I owned a business, I don't care where it is, New York, California, Illinois, I'm not shutting down and I'm not wearing masks, and my employees aren't either. And bring it. And let's go. Let's go to the Supreme Court. That's what it's going to take. That or President Trump um, shutting everybody down. Uh, I don't think he's going to let this go on much longer. It's to the point, it's ridiculous. They keep trying to create more fear porn to get support for this crap, and uh, it's not working because people are looking around. Wait a minute, it doesn't compute. You're telling us how deadly this thing is, yet the mortality rates prove otherwise. And we know those mortality rates are inflated, and they're still less dangerous than the common flu. At what point do people just say, we're not doing it anymore? And especially business owners. I don't get it. Business owners got to step up here. Um, don't cave. This is 100% unconstitutional. They cannot do this legally. I mean, let's look back at history and look at Germany. You've got a couple of issues. You've got, for America, you've got our Constitution that politicians and the government has to conform to the requirements of our Constitution. You can't make a law that's contrary to the Constitution. It's illegal. This is illegal. This is contrary to our Constitution. The Supreme Court already ruled on one state and knocked them out. Ruled for the people. This is a no-brainer. 100% illegitimate. And, we saw what happened in Germany when all the Nazis who claimed that, oh, well, it was legal to euthanize these Jews. It was our law. Guess what? They didn't have a constitution, but you can't commit crimes against humanity. You just can't make something up because you want to exterminate people. That doesn't fly anytime, anywhere in the world. And of course, in America, we've got a little bit higher standard here. It's time for businesses to do their part, and enough. Stay open. Don't require a mask. Let this thing play out. And I don't think I don't see President Trump letting this go to the election. I just don't see how he can. My thing is what the impact this is having on the middle class America. It's to the point where people are going to start losing their homes. I understand this is all part of the plan, but I don't know how he can let it go a lot longer. Even if he's got Nasera in his back pocket, that's what he's going to use to kind of get things back online. I don't see the point in waiting. It doesn't help anything, I don't think, to wait. We've talked about the election and the economy and the dueling factions of the globalist versus President Trump. They will do everything they can to take down the economy in September or October, right before the election. That's what they want. President Trump, it would seem, wants to get the economy through the election. So he doesn't want to collapse until after the election. The problem is he doesn't control the worldwide economy. No one controls the worldwide economy to keep it going because it's so crippled that it could go down any day on its own. Nobody trying to take it down. It could just collapse because of the overwhelming debt. I mean, there's 50 triggers that could take the economy down. Any of the too big to fail banks fold, and they're all on the verge. They're all broke. They're all bankrupt. The only reason this thing is still going at all is the $1 trillion a month that the Fed is throwing at it. Not for that $1 trillion, this thing is already over. And we've talked about, then people say, why don't you just keep printing? Well, because then you get Weimar Germany or Venezuela. Zimbabwe. It leads to hyperinflation. You cannot keep printing a fiat currency. It collapses every single time. You get hyperinflation every single time. Wheelbarrows full of money to buy a loaf of bread. That's what it takes in hyperinflation. It's over. So we've got the hyperinflation. We've got the deep state. We've got all the other, the banks. All these countries that are on, virtually, they're all bankrupt. We're all bankrupt. We've overextended ourselves, to keep that can kicked down the road. But at some point, you can only kick it so far. In this environment that is so manipulated and corrupted and run into the ground purposely. The globalists, the deep state, wanted the economy to come down when they had control. God had other plans. President Trump has other plans. They're never getting control back. The question is, how does this all play out? When does it play out? I'm going to say what my new, this is going to be my pat answer anymore. It's going to happen when God wants it to happen. It could happen any day. We have to be prepared for it to happen any day. But it's going to happen when God wants it to happen. I do not see it going much longer. I don't see us getting to the election. I just don't see how it's going to happen. Unless God makes it happen, and I don't know why God would want it to get to the election. President Trump wins no matter what. 90% of the vote, he wins. It's even worse if everything's revealed. If the satanic pedophiles are exposed and the swamp drains and those videos are posted on the internet for people to see, those satanic pedophile videos of the elites torturing and murdering children, the most powerful people in the world, including Fauci and Gates. Both Fauci and Gates have been to Pedo Island. You have to remember, they just arrested Ghislaine Maxwell. She's at the same jail where Epstein didn't commit suicide. I just saw one article, that they need to keep her on suicide watch. Epstein didn't die in jail. Epstein, if he did die, he was executed. And there's some people that say he got a life sentence and he's at Gitmo right now. I think he's a Gitmo. I'm not going to speculate on the sentence, but I believe he's a Gitmo. There's no way they're going to let anybody get to Maxwell. And they don't really need her because they got him and they got all the video. The only thing they're going to be good for is to corroborate that, yeah, I'm the one that recorded this. This is authentic. This is Hillary Clinton. This is Bill Clinton. This is Barack Obama. Just to corroborate the evidence. They don't need it. But it just strengthens the cases, right? Nobody's getting off. Nobody's going to escape justice. The question is, when are we going to see it? I keep saying, within a 2-week period, everything's going to happen. I think the economy, the draining of the swamp, exposure and eradication of satanic pedophiles, all of that knowledge, maybe it's not all going to happen in a 2-week period, but the knowledge of that, the admission of that, that's when everything changes. I think the arrests are going on right now. Nothing really changes in the world until President Trump or Barr holds a press conference and lays it all out. Then it's real. Then you're going to see, and again, then don't forget the reset. That could be a part of this. Maybe the reset comes first. That's the first thing. At this point, to me, I don't know that there's off the top of my head, I can think of a benefit of what should go first. As long as it all happens before the election, President Trump easily wins with 90% of the vote. I think if they had the election today, he'd win with probably close to 90%. I mean, they just did a survey, and how did they word it? It was Facebook actually did a study based on likes on President Trump content versus likes for Biden's content. It was 93%, I think, positive on President Trump and like 3%. And I think it was under 4% positive on Biden. That was just last week, or the week before at the earliest. And people think that Biden is leading the polls. Like I said, we have the election tomorrow. President Trump wins with 90% of the vote. This is a slaughter. Biden came and put two coherent sentences together. I mean, they're talking about his dementia and possible Kuru disease. Look that up. The same thing that Hillary and I think Pelosi have. I've been getting a lot of questions. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Ryan, name somebody. Gone. They're all going down. Nobody's getting away from this. Anybody who is loudly protesting President Trump's actions, put a check mark by him, because you can pretty much bet they're dirty. And where I started to go is with Epstein. He was working for the CIA. He was working for Mossad. He was running honeypots in all of his properties. Mansion in Florida, mansion in New York City, Pedo Island, ranch in New Mexico. They were all wired. Everybody that visited got videotaped over a period of years. There are hundreds of hours of the most disgusting video ever recorded that the NSA has, Maxwell has, obviously Epstein had. President Trump and the NSA and military intelligence have it. What do you think happens when that comes out? I it changes the world. It destroys the mainstream media and the Democratic Party almost instantaneously, because then it's really apparent why there was so much animosity and pushback against President Trump from day one. Didn't make any sense. America loved him. Had a hit show, popular businessman, great PR. And then with a flip of a switch, the world hates him, or at least America hates him. It didn't make any sense. Well, it does if you put it in context from the right perspective. When you see, well, okay, and Q's been saying this from day one, those who scream the loudest, probably pedophiles. Paraphrasing, but that's in a nutshell what Q said. And the reality is, it's pretty much true. You can look at the people who are screaming the loudest, look at the celebrities, look at the newscasters, politicians, judges. I mean, just take any segment. Celebrities. You're going to find that anybody that was screaming was guilty. You know, Oprah, The View, that whole crew. Crunch time arrives, and was everybody wrong about the virus? I'll answer that. Pretty much everybody was, except for the watchman, who from day one called this thing. From day one, we called this as less dangerous than the common flu. Go look at the video. It's obviously a lame attempt to take down President Trump. To blame him, they were trying to get a lot more murders, deaths that were basically murders, collapse the worldwide economy, and then steal the election. Well, it's not going to happen. President Trump has played this brilliantly. Now, Fauci and Gates are going to get hung with this. You know, the virus came from the Wuhan lab that Gates owns a piece of. You can't make this up. I mean, they know it came from that lab. How do you... What do you think's going to happen? No, everybody's just going to, okay, no big deal. It's okay, Bill. It's okay, Dr. Fauci. I don't think so. I think Fauci and Gates are dead before the end of the year. I think they both get executed for their crimes. And probably, well, I think for sure now, satanic pedophilia, well, torturing and murdering children, for sure. And then probably crimes against humanity for all their other antics. Bob Schiller says, understanding the pandemic stock market. It's easy to understand the pandemic stock market. We're throwing $1 trillion a month at it. That's why it's going up when everything else is collapsing. You know, you throw $1 trillion a month at anything, and you can, you know, pick a company. Pick probably 10 companies You throw $1 trillion a month at them, they're going to do awesome. When you give them money to buy their own stock, and this whole thing it's it's a circus. It's a joke. We're seeing the same things in the economy we're seeing with the virus. Intelligent people aren't buying this garbage. Intelligent people are looking at the mortality rate and saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Look at the number of people. Just look at the people that have been infected. I think it was just hit 8 million worldwide last week. 8 million in a planet with 7.5 billion people, and 8 million have it after 6 months, and you shut down the worldwide economy. More people die every year from the frickin' flu. When was the economy ever shut down? Can you name a time? You can't, because it never was. This economy was shut down to hurt President Trump. The virus was released to hurt President Trump. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put this puzzle together. Got to start using our heads. Nearly one half of FBI counterintelligence investigations involve China, one way or another. 50%. Think there's a problem in China? The problem in China has been that the globalists have been working with China for 25 years minimum. Maybe 50 years. I think Nixon went in the 70s, early 70s, to kind of smooth things over and reopen diplomatic channels, and then trying to open up trade. It was a sellout from day one. Nixon was a globalist. Their idea was to do exactly what they did. Basically give China all of our manufacturing and collapse our economy. Be indebted heavily to China, and eventually do what these globalists are doing in countries around the world, where they bail them out and then they strip the country of all their hard assets, mines and land and infrastructure, because you couldn't pay the debt. So now we got to take the collateral. That's what was happening. They were basically gonna give America to China without firing a shot. Not gonna happen. Not now. And the sooner China realizes that there's no way out of this, the better it's going to be for the world, because communism's dead. Just a matter of when are they actually going to declare it. 5 years, maybe? 10 years at the absolute outside. I don't see how it goes 5 years. We've talked about this. The people are fed up. People around the world are fed up. They're not going to accept communism anymore. How painful is this process going to be? Eliminating communism from the world. It will play out naturally. Um, Communism can't survive long term. It's impossible. The system is flawed. It doesn't work. Never has worked, never will work. But obviously, the longer this goes on, the more people are going to suffer. Hopefully, this goes quickly. China realizes there's nowhere to go. Um, Cooler heads prevail, and that this is all worked out so it works for everyone. Now, obviously, the elite in China, the CCCP, the Chinese Communist Party, um, they prefer to keep going the way they're going, right? But I think as we go through this process of what's happening, this great awakening, the 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 tsunami of people flooding um, to religion, we're going through a spiritual awakening in the world. Um, I think that's going to be what ultimately destroys China and Russia. And I think Russia, Putin, I believe, knows where this is headed. He knows that communism's done, and I think he's gonna go quietly, and I think it's gonna go well for the Russian people. China is still, I think, it's iffy. It all depends on how this next couple of months go. I think if they see the overwhelming world support for this great awakening, that they're going to have to reevaluate their situation pretty quickly, because it's not going to last. So do they do the smart thing and plan um, a controlled transfer, or do they just let it happen on its own and fight the whole way? And then obviously it's more destructive for the country and for the people. We'll see. God can influence this. I if God gets his hands on this, if God makes it his priority, it could end this year. It could happen that quick. I mean, look at the Berlin Wall. What was it, 1980? I mean, virtually it came down overnight when you look at how the perception was in the world. And we knew that Russia was kind of on the ropes, but nobody, I don't think, expected, I certainly didn't at that time, for it to come down, for the wall to come down that quickly. It was like bang, the next day they're tearing the wall down. I know there's more to it than that, but I'm talking about the perception on the streets, the people at that time. I think the same thing could happen in China. Um, 43 Florida ICU units hit capacity as Texas reports record jump in deaths. All fear porn. Um, Texas had 60 new deaths in a population of, I don't know, they had 30 something million, I think, in Texas. This is a joke. Um, they're overhyping this stuff to, play into the fear. Get people worried. Get people to wear their masks. Get people to think that they need Fauci and Gates. They need a vaccine. You need tonic water and zinc. You need hydroxychloroquine. There's another drug my daughter was just telling me about that they use for, I think, the sheep that they're having excellent results with. It just dries the lungs right up. Um, this is, it's over when President Trump wants it to be over because they've already got the cure. You know, a cure for a flu. Um, it's a matter of how long he wants this to play out. If it's just for the effect, in other words, his continuation of this thing, for so that the people just get totally fed up with it. I don't know that he needs to do much more because everybody I talk to knows it's all BS. There are still, liberal pockets where people are still not up to speed, but even the liberals are starting to shake their heads. They can't keep telling the same lies over and over again in the face of fact, contradictory fact, because the people are starting to look at this stuff and they're saying, well, wait a minute, the flu's worse than this. They got away with it in the beginning because they had this, the shock, the fear initially, but now people are looking around and it doesn't add up. The pieces to the puzzle don't fit. The pieces to the puzzle don't fit. What do we keep saying? You need to look deeper. And pretty soon you're going to get to what we already know. It's happening to take down President Trump. The whole thing. I mean, that was what this whole thing was about. Wait a minute. Yeah, 153 left-leaning economists say the U.S. should continue to hand out free money indefinitely. Really? We just talked about hyperinflation. What do it doesn't work. You can't do it. Well, I mean, you can do it, but you're not going to survive it. You can't do it and expect to survive. Hyperinflation. Guaranteed. I mean, it's 100% certainty. There's no way around it. Okay, what do we got here? Where the heck am I here? What's going on? Okay, let's see what we got here, guys. Who we got going here? Yeah, cognitive dissonance. Kevin just posted it. Cognitive dissonance is what we're going to have an epidemic of. It's when a person has strongly held beliefs that are contradicted by the facts in these cases, and they can't rationalize it. It doesn't compute. It's like a computer freezing up. That's cognitive dissonance. It is wild right now. It's what's causing most of these people to lash out, to 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 get angry because it scares them. I mean, that's the bottom line. It scares them that it doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, this is what I believe my whole life. Just think about people who supported the Clintons or the Democratic Party, and now you're starting to see all these things come out. You know, the satanic pedophilia and on and on and on and on. All the lies, you know, about President Trump, and we've got all this evidence, and we're going to take him down. And here we are 3 years later, not a single shred of evidence. After Schumer and Schiff and Pelosi promised over and over again that they had it. It was all fact. And it's not true. And people just can't process it. And it leads to cognitive dissonance, which means they basically can't function. They're like zombies. Just wait till you see it in action, large scale. Because when these videos come out, when this satanic pedophilia, I keep saying, it's the most important thing. If you don't understand satanic pedophilia in the world today, you don't understand the world. Because it's a driving force right now. You've got one side trying to destroy it and expose it, and the other side trying to convince you that it doesn't exist. The watchmen know the truth. You know, the most powerful, the most wealthy people in the world have been torturing and murdering children for hundreds of years. People like the Pope, the royal family, like Prince Andrew, presidents, Obama, the Clintons, the Bushes. Yeah, it's not all liberal. You're going to be amazed how many how many Republicans go down with this thing. Paul Ryan, Marco Rubio, John McCain was executed. So was Bush 41. Bush 41 is going to go down as one of the biggest monsters in history, maybe surpassing Hitler. Bush 41. Just wait till you see his list, his hit list. Disgusting that a U.S. president could be responsible for the things that he's going to be saddled with, including 9/11, including the JFK assassination, all Bush 41. Yeah, he got what he deserved. Execution. Tessie, hello. Darren. Ray Lynn, how you doing? Ray Lynn won another mask argument. D, how you doing? Jerry, what's up? Candace, hello. Yeah, well, Candace talking about liberals in Austin. Try the Bay Area in California. Multiply that by about 100. 402,000 non-sealed, 176,000 sealed indictments in America. Supposedly over 500,000 people worldwide are going to be arrested. Jeff, what's up? Brian, what's up? Well, when you hire a doctor that worked on Obama's campaign and you hire a doctor that's a satanic pedophile, works for Bill Gates. That's the one thing you have to remember, guys. They had to stick together. When you're in that club, there's no chinks in your armor. They're united because they know they're united or they're dead. Cecil, what's up? Here's one for Cecil. Newsom is going to be executed. Newsom is going down with at least 50% of the politicians in the state government of California. At least 50% are going down. Probably more like 75. Shelly, how you doing? Orica, hello. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Dennis, what's up? Don't forget about Nasara. Tessie, Kevin, got Graviola Tea up. Roxanne, how you doing? Paris, what's up? Trudeau's going down too, guys. Don't worry. Roger, how's it going? Well, listen. D saying that conservative mayors and governors are being threatened. That's part of the job, guys. If you don't have what it takes to stand up to that crap, you shouldn't be running for office. Look at President Trump. You see him weakening? What's going on here? Carbon 60. Don't forget your carbon 60, guys, especially right now. Amazing stuff. Check it out. Why is what's going on here? I'm having technical difficulties. Well, cognitive dissonance is serious, especially in a dangerous situation. You don't want cognitive dissonance when you've got civil unrest. Good way to get yourself killed because you're not thinking clearly. Raylyn started the rapture question. How'd it go, Raylyn? Started the rapture questions with good friend today. I want to hear how that went. Yeah, they don't have many answers. When you have the facts, most of them turn tail and run because they can't answer the questions. There is no answer. The rapture is a hoax. Allison saying she's got close family members with cognitive dissonance. Uh, at least one of my daughters has it. There's Mike Jamman, guys. If you need colloidal silver, get it from Mike. Raylan started the conversation. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, I think you're talking about a different conversation, maybe. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. Roxanne's pointing out an important point. When you buy carbon 60, you want to buy, I'm buying it now 8 or 10 bottles at a time because I go through it pretty quick. But then you can also, give it to friends who maybe need it. And listen, if you know anyone with dementia, with Alzheimer's, with MS, there is zero negative side effects. It's relatively inexpensive. And when you're in those situations, which are basically death sentences, you got nothing to lose with carbon 60. And there are examples of people being cured by using carbon 60. So I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but hey, if I had any of those diseases, I'd be tripling my dose. Oh God, darn it. We are united and only getting stronger. That's the reason they hate our message, because we are preaching unity. That's how we beat this. Todd's going to try and make C60 on his own. You got to be careful, guys, and not be careful in that it's dangerous, just that it's very difficult to do. Carbon 60 is more expensive than gold. It's very difficult to manufacture. So do some homework. I'd be interested to see if you could really get it done. You've got to arc carbon rods together, and I'm not even sure what rods they are. And then that residue is, and then that has to be, uh, it has to be filtered. So it's a pretty involved process. But I my first business that I open after we get through this mess, we're going to manufacture carbon 60. Candace, how you doing? In 5 years, everyone in the world will be on carbon 60, guaranteed. When people when people see the results from the few of us, the few thousands of us that have got this ball rolling, and they see our health in 10 and 20 years, watch the movie Benjamin Buttons. That's what taking carbon 60 is like, I'm telling you. Lewis wants to know if Junior's coming out. I'm assuming you're talking about JFK Jr. I believe JFK Jr. is alive. I believe sometime before the election, he's going to be revealed. I still believe he's going to be the vice presidential candidate this year. We'll see. Sounds good, Todd. Let me know. I think that Paris is talking about improvement from using carbon 60. Almost everybody, I don't know anyone who didn't get any benefit from it. I mean, every person I've talked to, and most of them have been really enthusiastic about the difference. And for me, too. I mean, I've told you guys my story. I will be opening a manufacturing plant for carbon 60. Amen and thank you, Kevin. California liberals are the worst. I'll vouch for that. Yeah. Corey, what's up? Cody, how's it going? And I'm probably going to open the C60 factory before Litecoin hits 1 million, but we'll see how it plays out. Suzanne, how you doing? Okay, guys, that looks like that's all the questions. Uh, yeah, sealed versus non-sealed, guys. Are indictments, sealed indictments? Obviously, you can't look at. Unsealed, you can. You can go to websites to look at what the charges are. Grow a set of coconuts. I'm not sure where we're going with that one. Uh, Aaron's asking about the Tom Hanks interview today. First of all, you got to remember almost every famous person in the world, and especially a famous pedophile, they've all got body doubles. So I don't put a lot of credence in what I see. That's why I keep telling you guys use your critical thinking skills, question everything. There are body doubles for every famous person in the world. You have to assume it. So you got to see how this thing plays out. This is going to be over when President Trump or Barr announce the arrest of Obama or Clinton. That's our first finish line. Okay, so Candace is talking about somebody with fibromyalgia, serious food allergies, and more issues. That's the beautiful thing about carbon 60. If they're okay with olive oil, people are good. Unless they're allergic to olive oil, you can use carbon 60. Very few people have trouble with it. Yeah, listen, when the world finds out what the elite, the globalist, the deep state has been doing to us and the plans they had for us down the road, it won't be safe for them to walk the streets anywhere in the world. They're going to want to be in custody. Stick with winners. That's right, guys. Stick with winners. And the Watchmen are winners. That might piss some people off. Good. 24.99 for a 5 ounce bottle on Amazon. Yeah, it's gone up. Is that for good and cheap carbon 60? Huh. Good and cheap had been running about 20 bucks. But I would imagine the price would change here as it becomes more popular. Yeah. Well, I'm making the price go up because I'm getting everybody to buy it. That's what's driving the price up. But it's a good thing, guys. We want everybody on it. That's good, Allison. Yeah, keep on it. I'm going to tell a quick story here about carbon 60. Um, what got me on it was early on, I saw a video. This guy was a scientist at NASA. He got involved with producing it because his mom had, I think it was full blown Alzheimer's. Basically needed full time care. A year after he started giving it to her, they lived in a small town, I think in North Carolina somewhere. He gets a call. You know, everybody knows everybody, right? In those small towns. Gets a call. Hey, you got to get downtown. Your mom's driving her car. Well, everybody in town knew that she had Alzheimer's, full blown Alzheimer's, and she hadn't driven in years. She was cured. A year after she started taking it, she was driving her car. I'm telling you, anything that's you know MS, Alzheimer's, anything with the brain function, any honestly, cancer, any illness I had, I would double or triple my dose because it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help. And it's relatively inexpensive. When you look at some of these treatments for some of these diseases, I mean it's thousands a month, if not in some cases tens of thousands a month for the treatment. A couple $100 tops, carbon 60. That's if you're quadrupling the dose or more. Good and cheap carbon 60 and olive oil. That's the least expensive one I found. It's the one I've always used. It's worked for me. Lance, how you doing? Night, Roxanne. The difference between clones and body doubles. Well, a clone is, I believe, a body that they have cloned. It's a replica. A body double just somebody that looks like a person. Yeah, it'll help your sore muscles, Stephanie. The other thing that'll help is I also take creatine. Um, it helps your muscles grow and recover faster if you're working out. Let me know, Candace. Yeah, listen, anybody who's dirty, um, the FBI is on them 24/7. They can't go to the bathroom without the FBI knowing it. Wade, how you doing? The same thing they did with Maxwell under constant surveillance. They knew exactly where she was, what she was doing. Any of the big names, it's the same thing. Obama, Clinton, people are asking me, well, what happens if they get away? Where are you going to go? Where in the hell is Clinton or Obama going to go in the world? Nowhere. They couldn't get out of the country. Yeah, it also C60 will make you sharper too. Guaranteed. It affects so many things, guys. Energy level, hunger level. It's it's I, I've been an athlete for my whole life. I've tried virtually every supplement on the market. Nothing compares to this. Carbon 60. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Jerry gets sprinkles on his ice cream because he's a winner. Okay. Whatever floats your boat, Jerry. Ray Lynn's getting ready to make a root beer float. Good to know. Yeah, 19.99 for carbon 60. I'm pretty sure at Amazon. Check it out, guys. Buy a bunch. That's something else you need to be stocked up on. Get several months worth of it. It keeps forever. You got to keep it just to keep it in a dark, cool spot. Roy, what's up? Yeah, and your pets. Roxanne gives it to Mr. Bandit. Um, many stories about carbon 60 curing cancer in pets, terminal cancer, tumors. One dog was riddled with tumors, completely cured up in a few months. It's amazing stuff, guys. I mean, originally, in fact, when you buy it from Amazon, it's supposed to be for pet use only. Of course, cowboys, we always take medication for the livestock, just lower dosage. Fine. You're welcome, Lena. You want, Aaron's asking about um, dimes. Right now, at least the last I saw, it's right around $90 for a roll. I think there's 50 dimes, right? If I'm not mistaken. So for a roll of 50 dimes, you can get it for right around 90 bucks. And you want, everybody should have 4 to 6 rolls of dimes, at least. I got $2,000 worth. Yeah. Carla's saying the Bank of America is the only bank that's actually has the doors open. Thanks, Kevin. You too, buddy. Tyler went to the hospital last month. They tried to charge 25,000 for 2 stitches and a CAT scan. This is how crazy it is, guys. This is ridiculous. Oh boy. Here we go again. Cecil claims that his wife had to leave home because the carbon 60 is causing his libido to increase too much. I feel sorry for your wife, Cecil. I don't believe clones are from another planet. It might be technology from another planet. Well, we got a lot of questions. Who went to Montana over the 4th? What is wrong with this? Montana is beautiful. I love Montana. I love Montana in the summertime. I don't love it in the wintertime. Lilith, we ask that question of Cecil almost every day. Tina saying C60 helped her sleep better at night. I actually had the other problem. I was taking it when I first started, morning, noon, and night. And I had to quit taking it at night because I couldn't sleep. And I was, at the time I was only sleeping 4 hours a night, so it didn't go well. But I cut back and then I doubled my dose in the morning, and it was fine. Lance went to Montana. Got it. Love Montana. Extra food, water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. I'm not going to go there, Lena. Good and cheap. It's gone up. Uh, Jerry is correct. I believe dimes will be $100 a piece. You're paying $1.25, 35, something like that for them now. They'll be 100 a piece. I think maybe by the end of the year. Pretty soon after that, if not. Christina, how you doing? Colloidal silver. It's Mike sells colloidal silver. Uh, Kevin, could you post if Kevin hasn't posted the website or the link for Mike Janman? Mike Janman was on the chat tonight, I believe. Just friend Mike Janman, and he can set you up. He ships it right to your house, and it's about 25% of what you pay at GNC. Cindy, how you doing? Polly, how you doing? Yeah, plexiglass shields. A joke. Okay, that's all the questions. All right, guys. Um, Remember, this could go down any day now. We have to keep pushing. We're never going to have the impact we can have right now before the collapse or the reset. Once the collapse and the reset hits, prices explode on silver and Litecoin. We want to get as many people into the game before that happens. So keep pushing. The more people we get prepared, the easier it's going to be for the country and for President Trump. He'll have fewer people to take care of. Keep pushing. Stay positive. Stay united. Lean on each other. It's all good. We're almost there. I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys, with our prayer for God and country. Amen. I'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.